In Conversation with Terry Shepard, award-winning broadcaster, narrator, and author. A deep dive into the writer's craft with the artists and support systems who create the stories we love.
Thanks, Lisa. In a world where uncertainty often clouds our path, Christie Russ is here to show us that we hold the power to shape our own reality. As a visionary, intuitive guide, and trailblazer at the intersection of technology and human potential, Christie helps high achievers, leaders, and innovators break through limitations and step into their highest purpose. Through her groundbreaking work, she fuses deep spiritual wisdom with cutting-edge advancements in AI, blockchain, holograms, and the metaverse, creating a future-forward approach to personal and professional transformation. Whether it's unlocking hidden potential, navigating life's toughest decisions, or aligning with a higher calling, Christie's work is nothing short of transformative. She is also the author of The Power to Rise, a modern evolution of Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom, a book that empowers readers to uncover their true purpose, create a legacy that transcends a generation, and turn their aspirations into lasting impact. Christie Russ, welcome to the conversation.
Oh, thank you, Terry. That was amazing. Quite an introduction. I love it. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Tell us how you discovered your calling as an oracle and transformational guide.
It was quite fascinating. I have a friend who joked that it all happened that I got my PhD in 3 months. Real quick, I went through a divorce at 50. I had been married for 20 years, had 3 children, hit rock bottom in my life, got to the point where I felt absolutely nothing. I just couldn't feel anymore. And so it started when he left. I would bring the kids to school. I would drop them off at school. I had one in college, one in high school, and one in middle school. Drop the 2 off at school. And then all the tears would just come out. And then I would go home, and I have no idea why, because I had never been a huge fan of Linda Ronstadt, but I would just close my eyes, makes me want to cry now, and dance to Linda Ronstadt. And I just couldn't feel anymore. So the tears would just be streaming, and I had just completely lost myself in the music. And that began to open up connections to energy. I had no prior religious beliefs. I had no prior spiritual beliefs. I just always knew that there was something bigger than me. And so I started to receive from what friends told me was I was an open portal. So anything that could get to me was coming to me. So I was being bombarded to where it was really uncomfortable. And I made a conscious choice. I've always been a huge fan of Eleanor Roosevelt. And Eleanor Roosevelt, which is a lot of her quotes, but this one in particular, I live my life by: never take a no from a person who doesn't have the authority to give you a yes, which to me has always meant go higher. So when I was receiving from these energies, I saw very clearly that you have a choice as to where you receive, because I was starting to see within different types of dimensions. I didn't see dimension. I kind of see them as pockets. And I'm like, I'm going straight to the top. Like if I'm going to start receiving, I am going straight to the top, to the highest of pure positive energy, guiding me and others to our highest purpose for the highest good of humanity. And that's all I'm going to receive. So I shut the door on allowing any other type of energy to flow through me, except ones that were here for the highest good of humanity. And so that's when I started to really, really receive very clearly with a purpose. And I was able to receive information. I started to use it in business. And then I'm a questioner. I love to ask questions. So I'm like, well, what about me? what about me? Like, what is my purpose? And I've learned when you just throw the questions out there to the universe, answers start to appear, things start to come to you. And so it was in about 2018 that I started getting downloads of blockchain. I had no knowledge of I have no tech background at all. And I started to get visions of blockchains, visions of holograms, visions of utilizing conscious AI, cryptocurrencies, and the metaverse, and how it was all flowing together in the metaverse with personal development. How I was going to be able to build on the blockchain, create a platform for people all over the world to be able to generate revenue. Then the information came to me that 25% of the population is unbanked. So I created a token, and within 2 weeks of creating the token, it went viral and went to the number one token, in the top 1% of tokens out of 9,300 tokens on the XRP ledger. And that's with absolutely no experience. It's just finding that desire. It gets back to Napoleon Hill, finding that desire and following the inspired action and asking what's next, and just as so I would just, one step at a time. And I was digging into things that in 2018 there were no YouTube channels on blockchain. I had to dive right into the ledger itself and figure it out on my own. There was very, very little guidance. So that's how, when I heard that 25% of the population was unbanked, it made me sick to my stomach. It made me sick to my stomach that these people weren't able to generate revenue the way that I was able to. And I was here to be able, I can help them. I can help. And I knew my purpose was to uplift and inspire the world and to converge personal development with blockchain leading edge technology and provide a platform for people all over the world to be able to uplift and inspire the world with helping them connect to higher consciousness with personal development. So it's being able to create this platform within the metaverse, which also aligns with books. So, and books are part of the long-term vision of being able to publish a book into a digital asset, which would be an NFT that could be sold in my marketplace in the metaverse. I just never knew that was going to be the first author on Center for Creators and on the XRP ledger to publish a book within the blockchain. So that's how, but it took, in 2018, when I would speak about it, people literally thought I was crazy. And I constantly, for years and years and years, until 2022, I got this vision is just too big. Like, there's no way you'll ever pull this together. You'll never be able to do it. It will never happen in this lifetime. And then I came to Northwest Arkansas, which is the home of International Walmart and some of the leading technology in the world, and got in contact with the University of Arkansas Blockchain Center of Excellence. And they pulled me in right after I created my token. They pulled me in as a mentor and a use case provider because they got my project. They understood it. And they went, yes, this can be done. So it was, that's how I found my purpose. And that's how the same vision with my book, with writing my book. It was published this January 1st. And I told people I want to be a New York Times bestseller. And just the look on their faces where that just kind of drop, and they're like, oh, this lady's like out of her mind. She has no idea what she's talking about. And so I can feel people push away. And the same thing happened with my Center for Creators vision, where people just kind of push away. Well, in less than a month, it was a #1 bestseller on Amazon in philosophy And then it was a #1 new release in 3 categories. And I was like, okay, I'm a bestseller in something. Now I have to really like work. But it's the actionable steps of Napoleon Hill. It's when I first started taking the actionable steps with Center for Creators, it was probably a year in when I found Napoleon Hill, and I became obsessed with watching him on YouTube and his radio broadcasts, and just really started implementing those steps. And to me, what was so empowering was the desire, the inspired action, the visualizations, the affirmations. So I did the same thing with my token and with my book, and they both went viral in less than a month.
Christie Russ is our guest. She has written a book called The Power to Rise, which is a modern take on Napoleon Hill's wisdom. What is your ultimate distillation of purpose?
In one word, fulfillment, right? To feel fulfilled, to be able to look back and go, I did that. I freaking did that. I left this for humanity. I bettered the world. And to just get the chills, to me, that's what my purpose is. And that's what I help guide people to, is because I work with a lot of very successful people who are like, okay, great. Now what? Like, what's next? They're not feeling, they haven't found that part of that is fulfilling. And I'm like, well, you can blend the two. You can absolutely blend the two of having your career and your legacy be fulfilling. So that's what I see as our highest purpose, is what truly fulfills and inspires you and inspires others to move forward and continue to evolve. That's what it is for me.
How can someone begin that journey, especially if they feel stuck, unsure, or afraid?
Right. So it is, it's affirmations, and it's visualizations, and it's knowing that my purpose and my purpose is always continuing to evolve. It didn't come to me in one clear vision. It came to me over time because I had the desire, the burning desire to uplift and inspire the world, and to do something with global impact. I would tell people back at 2018, I'm going to create a multi-billion-dollar empire. And again, people's faces were like, oh my God, like, she's crazy. But it wasn't the dollar amount that mattered to me. It was a multi-billion-dollar empire is going to impact millions of people in a positive manner. So to get back to your question of how to get there, it's starting with the affirmations in desires, in desire of asking the universe, like, please show me my purpose. Why am I here? And recognizing the emotions that fulfill you. I also have, within the Power to Rise, I've created a 3-step strategy. So the second step is a legacy blueprint. And then the third step is the CFC rewards app that rewards you with my cryptocurrency for taking actionable steps within the book and utilizing the tools. So that's the third step. But the second step that I've created is a legacy blueprint. And what it incorporates is a little bit of astrology, a little bit of human design, some of my channeling, and conscious AI. And each report is unique and individualized for it's your legacy blueprint. It guides you as to those emotions that fulfill you, those emotions that challenge you. And when you see it in writing, the emotions that really challenge you, for me, it's so simplified it that oh my gosh, if I just have to embrace laughter, and that releases this that's been challenging me, I'm going to laugh every time, right? So it really helps simplify and makes it easier to move forward when you're in a space of feeling good. Those answers come to you, right? And so it kind of releases the beliefs that limit us, right? Helps us recognize, and that's what I work a lot with my clients, are recognizing the words that you choose. And is that moving you forward? I think it's really important to pay attention to the thoughts that we have.
Many people might not be familiar with what an oracle is. What is your definition?
So the difference for me, and I haven't done much study on this. I like to just receive from what I understand, a psychic is someone who can help guide you, sometimes tell you your future on the path that you are on. And as an oracle, I'm never going to tell you your future. I'm going to help you create your future. And I'm going to help you keep dreaming bigger and bigger and bigger, and help. I can see where you're going and what your highest purpose is emotionally, right? Like, and what my give back is to uplift and inspire the world. And then I was able to break it down into technology. So I can help break it down into categories for people. And the aha moments are so much more empowering when you receive them and the universe shows you. So I help people recognize when they're connecting to higher consciousness, when they're connecting to energies that are of lower frequency that probably aren't guiding them to their highest purpose. So I like to help people feel and experience what it is that I feel and experience, because we all do.
Christie Russ is our guest. The book is The Power to Rise, a modern evolution of Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom. How did all of this happen to you?
So it was probably 2018. I was 52. So I was 52 when I figured it out, and awfully excited. I didn't feel it was too late at all. I honestly felt that I had to go through absolutely everything I went through in life to be able to feel and experience and be where I'm at now. And that's what The Power to Rise shares, a little bit of my experiences and my journeys as to where I was when I was implementing the principles of Napoleon Hill. But it's I always want to move forward. I always want to evolve. I always want to be growing. I am always pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And to the point where I feel sick. But it's the difference is knowing when you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and you get that kind of nauseous feeling because it's wrong. And then also pushing yourself out of the comfort zone with diving deep into the blockchain, with not only writing The Power to Rise, but I became the publicist. I turned Center for Creators into a publisher. I never knew that was on my list. That was harder than writing the book, is being the publicist and getting it out there. So the other thing that I did too, that I like to share, is I had been told my whole life I wasn't athletic. Over and over and over, and not out of malice. I was surrounded by incredibly athletic men. My dad was recruited to the Baltimore Colts. I think it was the Baltimore Colts back then. He played semi-pro baseball. My kids were collegiate athletes. My ex-husband played for the winningest collegiate baseball coach in history. I mean, just like really high-level athletes. And so I've been told my whole life I wasn't athletic. So at 56, I picked up a pickleball paddle, and I was not very athletic. And within 2 years, I don't know, for people who know pickleball, it starts at a 2.5, then a 3.0, 3.5, and a 4.0. Within 2 years, of playing my first sport, starting at 56 years old. I won gold in a 4.0 tournament, two 4.0 tournaments, and I qualified for the Senior Olympics, the Senior 2025 Olympics in Iowa. So that's where it's visualizing it. And I wanted to see, because I've always wanted to work with athletes with what it is that I do. And I have the mindset, if someone's going to share their experience with me and I'm going to evolve from it, I want to know, what have you done? What have you done that can truly help me with your experience? So that's where I was like, I still push myself out of my comfort zone playing pickleball and getting on the court with people who are in their 25 to 35. And I'm like, just breathe and go through, you'll be fine. But it's the same principles. It's the same principles of the desires, the affirmations, the visualizations, the knowing. So I felt I really had to achieve things to be able to really share. You can do it. And I used these principles to achieve. So far, more to come.
How do you make productive connections with business?
Once I recognized what my gifts were, and I knew I was only going to use them in business, I wasn't going to use them for people personally. Now in business, personal life still does come in. And I did have people over and over tell me, senior level executives, they're not going to understand this. They're not going to want anything to do with you. And I knew from the very beginning, if people are successful, they understand there's something bigger than them. And now that I'm working with them, they've all had crazy experiences that they haven't been able to share with other people. So I started introducing myself as an intuitive business strategist, and it was absolutely fascinating because people who weren't ready to hear the word intuitive didn't hear it at all. And then the people who recognize it, you could see their head tweak and they're like, tell me more. Right? So it was, I don't feel I am here to teach anyone. I'm here to share with those who are ready. So I'm not about to convince anyone of my gifts. They've been proven over and over just to be right. So it actually fell into place really, really easily. One of the gifts that I utilize a lot with my clients is, if you give me a first name and no other information, a first name of a business, name of a location, name of a contract, they refer to it as a crib sheet. I can give you the crib sheet, the moral fiber, the intentions, how to deal with them. So and we've just started practicing where people don't even have to say anything. So we can do it in a public forum where you just have to focus on it for a split second, and I can grab that information and share it with you. So I'm able to do that. I've also been in many, many boardrooms where I can shift energy, and I will never manipulate energy, but I will shift energy within the room so that everyone in the room will be happy with the outcome. Right? And I can help lift the vibration in the room to achieve that. So I've done that quite a bit as well.
We're talking with Christie Russ. The book is The Power to Rise. Her website is ChristieRuss.com. For someone wanting to start along this path of transformation, what's the first step?
Creating daily routines. Daily routines changed my life. Reading things, listening to things that inspire you, that help you expand your thought process. My favorite daily routine is, before I ever open my eyes, I make myself smile. So, because I can get frantic, like I'm high adrenaline. So I used to be up, I would wake up and be on my feet before I ever realized that I was awake. And, the day was going and things were spinning. So I realized once I was able to slow that down, and before I open my eyes, today's going to be a beautiful day. I'm going to open up Amazon and, it's going to have wonderful rankings. I'm going to sell a whole bunch of books. I'm going to uplift and inspire people and just, be showered with abundance. And the universe is going to surprise and delight me in ways that uplift and inspire my mind, body, and soul. And I just go on and on and on until I make myself laugh or smile. And then I'm like, okay, now I can get up. So to me, that's one of my most powerful routines.
How do you think Napoleon Hill would react to your work?
That's a good, very, very good question. I hope he would respect it. I really do. Because I have the utmost respect for him. And I just, the whole point of the book is showing how he changed my life and adding my story to his principles and showing it works. It's worked for me time and time again in so many different areas of my life. And it feels good.
Is there a question that I have not asked you that you wish I would?
Well, something came to mind with the last item that you asked. And I like to push people to keep thinking and dreaming bigger. That when you're comfortable in the space of what it is that you're wanting, to keep pushing yourself because at first with the Center for Creators, I was like, I'm going to create $1 million company. And then when that got comfortable, I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be $100 million company. And when I could get to the point where it makes me laugh, right? It makes me laugh. And I just kept pushing till I could get to, okay, it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar empire. And that makes me laugh, which to me opens up the path to, okay, maybe. But that's an advice that I would like to share with people is to just keep pushing your dreams, making them bigger and bigger.
The book is The Power to Rise, a modern evolution of Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom. It's written by our guest, Christie Russ, available at ChristieRuss.com. Thanks so much for the conversation.
Oh, thank you, Terry. This has been absolutely wonderful.
In Conversation with Terry Shepard is a copyrighted presentation. All rights reserved. I'm Lisa Davis. Join Terry Shepard next time in Conversation.